Okay, this video is going to talk about how to look at the units as a whole and how to get started with the first unit and maybe the second one too. So let's say that I am just logged in and here's my home screen. And I know that I've already read the syllabus. I already have looked at the getting started videos, or I've done a few things, but now I'm actually going to sit down and start the unit. So let's say I go to unit 1, and all the units are set up like this. They're kind of a big folder. This is the announcements. This just takes you back to the main page. Let's say I've made an announcement and you're like, oh, I think she sent us an email, but I can't remember, so you can click on the announcements. This is a direct link to the syllabus. Excuse me. That helps like remind you of where things are, but it goes right to the syllabus, and so if you're not sure, you can click on it. This is what you want to make sure that you're recording and putting in your planners or however you want to do it. So your first introduction post is due January 17th by 11:59 p.m. and it's just the introduction post. And I'll explain that in a second where that is. Your initial posts are due the next week, and then your peer feedback is due the next week, and your further thoughts is due the next week. The objectives are always listed for every unit, and so for this unit we have 10 objectives. I definitely think you should read them all, but I'm not going to read them to you because I'm just giving you the overview. What I really want to get to is, well, what's the whole purpose of this? As opposed to the objectives, like what do I actually have to do? That's what students always want to know. What do I have to do? Which is completely understandable. So let's say I go to chapter 1, and this is very important. Read chapter 1, draw a diagram in your textbook, and then read about Polya's 4-step problem-solving link. So there's always a reading assignment. So let's make sure that you always remember that there's a reading assignment. Okay, so I need to read chapter 1, so I pick up my book and read chapter 1, and then I got to do some more reading, so I'm going to read this Polya's 4-step. If you need a PDF of chapter 1, let me know. After reading the examples in the textbook, you may want to try some of the more practice problems at the end of the chapter. The answers to the problems at the end of the textbook, but unfortunately do not show the solution process. So if you're just like trying to practice, you just will get the answer. This is a PowerPoint that's associated with the chapter 1 for the from the book, so you can look at that if you'd like. It's not required. I just put that in there. These are the problems that you have to sit down and do. And so if you're studying chapter 1, you read it, you do the reading assignments, and then you go ahead and you work on the problems. Now, remember that it doesn't matter what thread you're in. All of these problems you need to attempt. Over the course of last semester, there were students who said that there were just too many problems. I do think that that was because some of them waited way too long to do the problems. This is why I've given you a list of all the problems. They were in this print this stuff link that I pointed out in a different video. I've given you a list of the problems for the whole semester and a checkbox next to each one of them. There's no reason why you can't start working on the problems before we even get too much into the class. Like, you could work on problems throughout the course at all times. So it will not be overwhelming if you work diligently and you keep up with the problems every week and get ahead. There is an example of draw a diagram that's was actually done by one of the teachers, one of the faculty members who teaches this course besides me. Another recommendation I got last semester was that we needed some more videos of how to do something. I agree with you on that point. I agree with them. However, I'm not going to make a video unless you ask me to. So if you looked at the draw diagrams strategy and you get it, and I don't get any requests in the open discussion board about it, then I'm probably not going to make a video. I will make a video of it upon your request. Right now there's one each, and that's what we're going to stick to, and I'm happy to make some more upon request. So that's how you do what you do for this class, basically. Yes, you have to do a discussion board. Yes, you have to do a reflection, but this is what you have to actually do to get started in the course, is to start with looking at a unit. Let's say I go to unit 2. Again, same setup, basically. A couple different things here and there depending on the unit. Notice how unit 2 kind of has a little bit more chapters than unit 1 did. Again, I have prepared you for this by making you print off what you're going to have to do each chapter. And I start with a little lighter load on the first one because everyone's getting used to it. But if you look at this, we have 3 chapters in this unit. And there's a few problems. Yeah, there's only 4 problems, but you know, that's going to take you some time. So you need to sit down and make sure you you're prepared for that. Okay? So that's Unit 2. And then, again, you'll see in other videos, you still have the discussion board, the open questions, and the reflection. A good time to get the open questions is, like, let's say you do have a question, like, I really don't understand the using matrix logic, and I've watched the video. Can anybody give me some more hints on how to do that? Or does anybody, or hey, Professor Militzer, could you make a video for this for me? And I'm going to tell you this again before I forget, because it's really important. If you go to Unit Discussion Board Open Questions and you subscribe to it, then that's the only way you're going to know for sure. So I'm going to keep reminding you. It's probably going to be the first thing I'm going to have you do as soon as you open up the course, is to remind you to do that. Okay, so that is how you look at a unit.